Are you all half dead in there today? What is going on? The Tories may be left with fewer than 100 seats at the next election. Tories may be left with fewer than 100 MPs. This is a poll of, wait for it, 15,000 voters. And they claim, according to this poll, that the party is set for an historic defeat. Even the Prime Minister's own seat is at risk. The Conservatives are heading for their worst electoral defeat in history, according to what is being described by a mega poll. A survey of more than 15,000 people forecast the Tories under Rishi Sunak will retain only 98 seats at the next general election. Labour will sweep to power with 468 seats, with a majority of 286. Now, if that poll is correct, that is a disaster. And I don't just mean it's a disaster because I have particularly any allegiance to any particular party. I say it because any government that has a majority that high and a completely ineffective opposition is an absolute nightmare. It really is. That is not good government when you have majorities that high. Remember the last time Labour had a majority anywhere close to that, we ended up in war in Iraq because there wasn't enough opposition. And unfortunately, the opposition actually agreed with it. You need effective opposition in government. There was no opposition during anything that was done with COVID, and that was only with an 80-seat majority when Bozo Boris got that. So you need effective opposition in order to have the checks and balances on effective government. So for any country, a party that has a majority like that is a bad idea, in my opinion. But also, what a dire state of affairs for the Conservative Party. I mean, that is grim reading to wake up to this morning, isn't it? Really, really grim reading. And you know, when I was reading this on my way in this morning, it made me think of who on earth I would vote for. Who on earth on either the front benches of the government or the Labour front benches, who on earth would get your vote? And they are just all diabolical. I'm amazed that anyone is wanting to vote at all. Do you know that? Because they're all just absolutely dire. All of them. You've got Keir Starmer, who is just like, he's like a fart in a trance, isn't he? There's just nothing. There's just nothing there. There's no ideology. There's no purpose. He's just sort of just like drifting around like a bad smell in the air. There's nothing there. Rishi Sunak, who has a massive black hole where his personality should be. Do you know, I saw an advert last night, and it was an old advert for a quote from Michael Gove. It was on a billboard, one of those revolving ones for a news channel. And it was an old quote from November where Michael Gove, who is just like a slick of oil, he really is, he's just the most loathsome, dishonest character in politics since Boris Johnson, and that is quite the feat. He said that the immigration numbers were not a betrayal of Brexit. This is a man who advocated for Brexit. This is a man who said that we would end up with 5 million people from Turkey coming as a result of Brexit, and leaving the EU was the only way of stopping that happening. He's then been part of a government that has presided over some of the highest numbers of immigrants since history began, and he's now saying that isn't a betrayal of Brexit. What an absolutely loathsome slick of oil that man is. He's absolutely horrific. The way in which he's ruining as well the housing market with these ridiculous leasehold reforms as well. The man is a dishonest moron. You've then got Angela Rayner. She's made it on the front pages this morning as well. Rayner, the council house raider. That's what I like to call her. Because who on earth knew where she lived? She had this council house. She apparently didn't live in it for very long. She then didn't pay capital gains tax on it because she said she was living on it. She got the discount on it as well, remember? Because she had bought it off the council and then didn't live in it for very long. Awful. Absolutely, completely awful. And then you've got Annalise Dodds. I mean, look, I don't like to be personal with anyone, but really, Annalise, get your split ends done. She's then saying, oh, she's proud of the way in which Angela Rayner has dealt with all of this. What, by burying her head in the sand? But then also you've got the Prime Minister's own wife who was a non-dom when it came to her tax affairs. I mean, there are none of them. None of them. Absolutely none of them. And Rishi, get a suit that fits. Come on. Ridiculous with your stupid short-leg trousers. Get a suit that fits you properly. Is there any of them that you look at, you say, oh, yeah, God, you know, he or she are going to get my vote. They know what they're doing. They're honest. Yeah, they're competent. There's none of them. Absolutely none of them. I'm amazed Labour are going to get this majority. I'm amazed any of you are actually going to trek your carcass down to the polling station at all. I think I'm just going to stay at home, put my feet up and tear up my ballot paper. There is absolutely no point with any of them. And it's you I feel sorry for. It's you. And me, actually. Because it is such a dire choice for everyone. What other names are there? What other names are there actually in the cabinet that you can think of? Who else is Grant Shapps, who's, you know, gone under more names? Honestly, I mean, like than a Hollywood movie star. I mean, how many names has he had? I mean, what is it, Grant Shapps? A drag queen? I mean, what is he? Because he's had so many pseudonyms? I mean, he should go on RuPaul's Drag Race, the number of pseudonyms that he's had. Just the rest of Rachel Reeves, I mean, again, pointless. What is the point in Rachel Reeves at all? I mean, even Owen Jones has left Labour. Even Owen Jones doesn't want you to vote Labour now. They are all just absolutely diabolical. And, of course, we live in a country where you're taxed to the hilt, nothing works, you can't get anywhere, and we're all told to feel guilty about everything, including our interactions with each other, the fact that we might drive a car, and anything else. It is the most dire it has ever been in history. I mean, prove me wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong. 0344 499 1000. Tell me that I am wrong. Because we're actually going into an election that should be on paper quite exciting. You know, change of government. I've never felt less enthusiastic in my life about an election. And as I said, I witnessed the inauguration of Boris Johnson within a majority. I mean, I should have left the country then, really. You know I don't like to talk about Boris for too long because I may well end up pregnant. But even this lot make him look honourable. It is just awful. It is just awful.